All right, what's going on, everybody? So by now, some of you have heard about the New York City shooting, and I want to just talk about that a little bit as it relates to us as Christians, and especially as this in this time where we are living in an information age, where we are bombarded with a lot of news. And if you have the capacity to discern and read through some of these things, this video is for you because, as I say in the title of this video, this is a classic case of discerning false flag events and distractions. And I'm not saying that it is a false flag event. I'm not saying it is a distraction. I'm not mitigating and looking down on this event and saying and belittling it. Of course, violence, of course, shooting, of course, any tragedy is not good. But I'm saying that when you are presented with something like this, a shooting, which from my perspective, I live in Chicago, and so we have shootings every other day, right? So it's crazy that some of these things, especially as this unfolded in this city, got so much attention, and it got to the front page of all these different news organizations, and it just became this big topic over the last couple of days. So it makes you wonder, why is it that it's being pushed in front of us, and for us to really care about it, right? Because of so many other similar events that happen every other day. But also, what is sort of the overarching theme, narrative, even propaganda? Why is it that it's happening? And especially because there's not been deaths, but a lot of people injured, and also with the backdrop and the backstory of the person itself, the MO, and many other things. And so if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that as a Christian, when we are presented with some news, when we're presented with some tragedy or whatever it is, you have to go to the Lord first. And you have to ask the Lord, how is it that I discern this? How is it that I need to receive this? And with anything that happens, you first ask yourself, is this something that's believable? Meaning that, did it actually happen? And we're in a time where so many things are outright false. It outright does not happen, or it was doctored, it was made up, it was staged, or whatever it is. And so you have to ask, is this something that I can discern as at it being happening, or it being made up, right? And so after that, then it becomes, was this actually a real event, or was it staged? Was it something that somebody with some other alternative or ulterior motives had done? It wasn't the right person. Is the person that was actually caught and convicted or accused of doing the shooting, did that happen? Are there actors? Are there crisis actors? Are there other things that are happening that we don't know about? And I'm not saying that's the case for this particular event, but I'm saying that's the kind of discernment you've got to be able to have and begin, even though you may not be able to fully understand the story as it unfolds. These are the types of healthy, skeptical, objective opinions you've got to have to be able to receive it. Otherwise, you're going to be fed something. You're going to be told, be angry, be upset, believe this. This is the evidence. This is the kind of guy. This is the MO. This is the reasoning behind it. And then all you can do is consume it and believe it and take the narrative as it's told at face value, as opposed to questioning, why is it that it's being propped up? Why is it that it's being elevated among other events that are so commonplace, especially for someone that like me, who sees these things in the local news and whatever across some of the bigger cities. And so again, I'm not saying that this event is not bad, that it's fake or whatever it is. I'm saying, as the news unfolds, are these things the right things, or is it just conjecture? Is it just the leading narrative at the time, and then later it will show as being something different or whatnot? And then on top of that, as it's being portrayed, as it's being unfolded, why is it that some things are being mitigated? Why is it that some things are being shown as being more prominent, right? And so right off the bat, when describing this person, a black male, a lot of people, they didn't say those things. Some people, if it was for instance, a white male, you would have reacted very much differently. If it was a Trump supporter versus not a Trump supporter, you would have a certain narrative. But because this person, apparently from the YouTube channels, was a hater of Trump and his supporters or whatnot, all these different things coming out, there are certain things that are mitigated, are shown, are elevated, brought to the forefront, and others that are being quieted, right? And so all these different things to fit a certain narrative, a certain messaging, and then the aspect of gun control, the aspect of safety, of security, of I don't know where this is going to go, right? Like control, do you need checkpoints, and do you need metal detectors, whatever it is that comes out of this to portray and to push a certain messaging for the sake of safety, for the sake of an agenda, right? So how is it that people are going to use this as a stepping stone for something else? And so a lot of these different things are questions that come to mind as you discern whether this event was a real event, a false flag event, was it staged or not? And as it is unfolding that people are being injured and all these different things, who and what and why is it that some people, that there weren't deaths, right, in such a close quarters area? And so these are questions that are being asked, right? All the video evidence that are coming out, you look at it with some healthy skepticism. Why is it that some people acted and reacted in a certain way? Why is it that security cameras were coincidentally turned off, right? And then a 21-year-old security camera installer somehow found this person. Very ironic, right? And so some of these things you kind of ask yourself with a curious and inquisitive and in some sense a skeptical eye to say, what is the next step? And what is it that is being what is unfolding in the moment as people are trying to push a certain story in a narrative? And so you got to be careful, because a lot of things, there is a certain objective reporting of the news, of course. Some things are deemed more important than others. This shooting in particular took the headlines, and other things, as it comes out, people will scream bloody murder about certain viewpoints, certain political leanings, certain racial leanings, certain things that are coming out. And so as a Christian, you have to be in a healthy, in a wise, a shrewd, right, judgment, with shrewd judgment, be able to look at this and say, man, how is it that I need to receive this? Because if you have the capacity to be able to filter, to be able to take in certain things and say, man, Lord, a lot of things are happening right now, but is it taking the attention away from certain things? Is it being pushed so that our ideologies, our viewpoints are being manipulated to such a degree that you say, hey, we should ban all guns, or we should ban all XYZ. We should look at medical things and see what it is that's being pushed as some bigger agenda or movement. And so there are these things that allow people to cry out, certain things, to push certain agendas. And so I'm not saying this is the case for that, but when you're looking at it from a multidimensional point of view, as a Christian, as somebody who's trying to discern what's going on with any news, any thing that happens, and people are pushing it, especially the mainstream media, then you have to be able to be very wise, very discerning, and to be cautious as you take it in. And the worst thing you can do is take it for face value, get angry, and believe everything that's here, and then only to look at this person and say, man, he's such a dirty, murderous, like evil person, or whatever. And we don't know, right? This is the person that allegedly has done the shooting. I'm not saying that this person didn't do it. I'm saying as information unfolds, you have to reserve judgment, you have to be cautious, and you have to take it in with a guarded heart and a wise, shrewd mentality, so that you are not caught off guard and you are open to certain movements and ideologies, certain misinformations, whatever it is that comes at you. So again, guys, I'm not trying to give too much attention to this, aside from the fact that this is a classic case of an event, of a news that you have to discern very carefully what it is that's the intention, what are facts, and what's being pushed. And so God bless you guys. Pray through this. And of course, thoughts and prayers go out to the people affected, the victims, or whatever starts to unfold. If it is shown that a lot of these people have been shot and affected in negative ways. And so God bless you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.